Hello, Bigfoot enthusiast. Scott here from Squatch America.
And Hannah, domestic goddess, chief cook, and doggy mom in the paddy wagon.
There we go. She's got her face
Well,
behind
you
the wall.
got so many banners on the screen. Oh my heavens. So just look at the banners. Please join us on Patreon, find us on Facebook, like and subscribe and share this video and all that. And then go to squatchamerica.com and subscribe to our newsletter. Go to our shop there, buy the merch. Support the
Wow,
search.
that's a great intro.
Well, that's all the banners you got plastered up all over the
Okay.
place. Oh my gosh.
Well, folks, we got a great call-in show today. Plus, we got some stuff we're going to be
brand
talking
new
about.
breaking stuff.
Brand new breaking news again. Seems like we live for breaking news. But anyway,
well, there's got to be some news better than the crap news you
Yeah.
get everywhere else.
Probably. So, you ready? Hey, well, we made it back to Eastern Oregon. We are back in Baker City, Oregon
We
right
have
now.
been for a week.
We have, but last week we did that.
Oh, we had our video
We had a
premiere,
pre-recorded show.
which is exactly what led to tonight's show.
Was it?
Yes.
Yep. So for all of you who watched last week's show, we had that large discussion about the London Trackway number 2 and 1 and 1.5 and the ones before that and all the stuff. So we want to get into that discussion later. But
And we really want to know what y'all think. So before we continue, we had a question. How is tonight's show going to work? We've put a link up in the chat, which I will put up a few times again. When you click on that link, you're going to go to our studio, and you'll be on camera. And you will be in studio with us. So please, if you don't have a shirt on, for God's sake, go put a shirt on. We will never tell you what it may or may not be waist down with us.
Yeah, I may not be wearing pants. It's actually warm in Baker for the first freaking time.
Yeah, I think spring's finally here. There were bees buzzing around all over our truck today, so we think it's for real. Anyway, that's how the link works. When you click on it, you'll come into our video studio, and we will bring you in, and you can talk with us. So
hi Tracy, Daniel. I think we chatted with somebody. John, Donna, Scott Dunbar,
Michelle, and
the
Janice,
other Scott, and Scott Goebel, all the Scotts,
everyone. We got a crowd tonight. So
you know, it's kind of funny. I was in a class of 23 people. My graduating class, a little town called Imbler, Oregon, and we had 3 Scotts in my class of 23. Very popular name, I guess.
Guess what?
What?
I didn't go to school with any Hannahs. I was it. I was the only one.
Yeah. So.
All right. Let's get to it.
So let's get to it. I want to. Here's the exciting thing that just happened.
Like 2 hours ago.
Yeah. We're back in Baker. We've been back here for about a week, and as soon as people start seeing the truck driving around, we start getting phone calls. So I had a gentleman. He's actually a staff sergeant in the U.S. Army. He works here at the Armory for the National Guard, and he messaged me and sent me a photo. You want to see the picture? Huh? Guys, you want to see it? I got to figure out the button to push.
If you want to see the mysterious photo that we got today, put a 1 in the chat.
Yeah.
You don't give a rat's behind, put a 2.
Yeah. All right. There it is.
Too late.
Too late. Anyway, we'll get one. Oh, there's a 1. Thanks, Scott. No, it's a hair sample. So there it is.
I think it looks like a really fuzzy eyebrow.
Yeah, Hannah thinks it's an eyebrow, but it's a little bigger than your normal eyebrow. We have, okay, first of all, let me get my laser pointer up here.
Boop. You and that laser pointer.
Laser pointer. Boop. Okay, there we are. So when you see these things here, I don't know what you call them back east, but here we call them cuckleburs. They're little seeds that off. I don't even know what the plant's called.
I don't
Cuckleburs.
know,
I
but they're
always
the
called them cuckleburs.
yeah, they're along with goat heads. They are what fill your boots when you're hiking out here,
Or
your
your
pants,
pants.
or your.
So
They stick to everything.
I know it's like, well, back in Maine they have these great big huge things that hook to you.
But these are not them.
These are not them.
These are about the size of a blueberry.
Yeah, they're pretty small. Burdock. That's what they have back in Maine.
So
Yeah. So, but so anyway, that's the hair sample. He sent me the photo of. Now, this was in an area where we have been squatching before. We're going to go out and investigate this area here this next week or two. But we had that was this is a place we went camping and caught some eye shine.
that spot there.
That spot there, yeah.
Okay.
And the like Bigfoot was watching us in
That
our
was
hammocks.
Upper Catherine Creek, right?
Yep. So this is the same area which I wasn't going to say out loud. Strike that from the.
Well, there's a lot of that. That's a pretty big area.
So he dropped me off a portion of this. So let me get. Whoop. So I haven't even had. I literally got this like 10 minutes before we went on the air.
We have not had time to get out the microscope.
No, I haven't had time to get out the microscope. But anywho, I'm going to see if I can do this. Okay. This is just that bottom portion. I think there's one or two cuckleburs in it. But anyway, this is the hair. And what's really interesting is, I wonder if the camera focused.
There we go.
Yeah, you can see that there's white hairs in it too. So,
maybe he was a Bigfoot with a glorious beard.
He might have been. So, there's that. Yeah, and John says that's a big hunk of hair. It is a big hunk of hair. I haven't measured it in something.
Scott Dunbar said, "Give it a sniff."
I don't know. Good. I don't smell anything.
I don't smell anything. It's
pretty
either,
dried out.
But it tickled my chin.
Yeah, Donna says probably an elder Bigfoot. Now, probably so. But what was really interesting to me, I meant the first thing off the bat when I was looking at the photograph he sent me was I haven't even had time to take my own pictures, but you can look at the ends.
Can you zoom in on it a little more?
I can't. But if you look at the ends of the hairs, the first thing I look at when I get hairs is if the ends of the hairs are tapered to a point. And that means that hair's never been cut with scissors. So that's a good thing.
William says it looks like a canine.
It possibly could be. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to get it under the microscope yet. But what's really interesting to me, it's really, really soft. And there was one other hair sample we got actually in Maine.
Mexico, Maine.
Yeah, in a town called Mexico, Maine. And there's
an interesting reason why it's called that too. Scott Dunbar, do you know why Mexico name was named Mexico? Mm-hmm.
So anyway, this is another one we found. Was this kind of dreadlock looking thing, but it was exactly the same. It's really soft, really fine, which is.
And this sample, the hairs didn't have the medulla, or if it had a medulla, it was that transparent medulla, right?
Right. You can, yeah. So I haven't had, like I said, I haven't had a chance to look this under the microscope. It might have a medulla in it, and that kind of rules it out. But if you put these side by side, they're fairly the same. Just one's brown, one's black. Scott says no, he doesn't know, but he lives right next to it. So
interesting history. You might want to look it up.
Yeah. What's the town that's right next to it? Rumford. See, we know our Maine.
We're honorary Mainers.
Yeah. So, is that the only two photos I had?
I think so.
Oh wait. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. So if
So
you put it,
Janice asks, what did he find it on? Did he give you a story
uh,
about?
he did. He gave me. I got other photos too. It was actually caught on a uprooted stump.
Ooh, an uprooted stump.
Yeah. So there was that. It was a tree that had fell over, roots up.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not saying a Bigfoot pushed it over. I don't know. Uh, Trees fall over all the time
And rip out their
and
roots.
rip
Yep,
out the roots.
it's true.
A lot of what you may not know about Eastern Oregon is in the spring we get some tremendous windstorms here,
Hmm. Big
uh,
bad ones.
big bad ones. Because where we live, like here in Baker, it gets them really bad. We get these. They're called microbursts, and when the mountain, which is right over here, is you got all the cold air. I don't know how it works. I'm not a meteorologist, but um, in the spring when the mountain's warming up and the snow's melting and it causes these big like bursts of air that come down, and we get like about once a year they get trees knocking over telephone poles, and it's like one big burst of air really fast, and it happens all the time.
Yeah, when it hit, like if it hits our trailer, we can feel it.
Boom. Yeah.
Like, whoa, it usually freaks out the dog.
Yeah.
And then we go outside and see how badly the awning's been ripped up.
Yeah, that sort of stuff too, because they don't have any warning either.
No, it
It
just comes.
just
It's like a
comes.
gully washer here. The
Yeah.
same thing with the spring gully washers or the late summer.
Uh-huh.
Just like it could be bright and shining, then all of a sudden it's thundering and raining torrents, and then 2 minutes later it's bright and shining again. Yeah. So it
Yeah.
is interesting. So
Yeah. So it was on a down tree on the root part. So there's that.
all right. So do we want to make announcements or do we want to get right into people calling in?
We can give people a chance to call in.
Okay.
So I just threw
There's
the
the link.
link in the chat. So if you want to give it a click, and what we'll do is we'll throw on our obligatory commercial.
Yes.
So here we go. We actually made a commercial.
If they watched it last week, they will have seen it.
Yep.
As we travel and search for Bigfoot, we use a lot of equipment that uses the internet to operate. Also, in our town hall meetings and live streams, we need a reliable connection. We use Nomad Internet. There's a link and discount code below, so join us and have internet access on the go.
Boom. So yeah, if you want to click that link, that helps us out, and you can get internet that you can backpack into the woods.
I tell you what, honestly, I've got to give it to them. Our internet, even here, has never been so good.
Right.
In fact, our internet with Nomad is better than the fiber optic
Cable
stuff
that
that his mom has
yeah,
behind us.
and you can get this backpack that comes with it. And the neat thing about this is this thing here is awesome.
He's in love with that.
I'm in love with this. This is the battery pack. So the modem actually looks just like this. It's the same shape, same size, but this here will actually run. We tested it twice now. It'll actually run the internet for almost a week.
Yeah, about 6.5 days.
About 6.5 days. This will run the modem.
So
off grid.
Yep. And their service is getting better and better and better. So I'm pretty pleased with them right now.
Okay, so did we got anybody knocking
anyone?
On the door? No, anyone?
So honestly, here's the deal. If no one comes into the studio, we're going to sit here and BS the whole time.
Or if you got questions you don't want to come in, go ahead and
just throw them in the chat. But we'd rather have you on camera. It's so much more interesting.
So we can prove you exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, trees. William Nighthawk says trees could be. Did it? Get it? Yeah. Trees could be
A rubbing post for Sasquatch and bear.
bears.
That's why it was pushed over.
Possibly, but some of these trees that the tree we're talking about is about 7 feet around at the base, so it's huge.
Yeah.
So, any questions here? Looking for tracks after hearing wood knocks. Oh, cool. I don't know what that means.
It means he's
Are
looking
you in
for
the woods right now? That's awesome. So, yeah, we're planning to be out in the woods quite a bit here shortly.
We are actually planning an investigation in just a few weeks, and we have opened it up to Patreons.
Right. So if you're one of our Patreons on Patreon, patrons on Patreon, anyway,
if you join us on Patreon,
yeah, they check your messages or check your email,
yeah,
and or go to Patreon and look at the page. Um, we've been doing that, and Danny said
how much does it take to do a track?
just got hydrocol. Okay, what I usually do is fill a like a 1 gallon Ziploc bag. I fill it about half full, and that'll usually do a track. Yeah, so if you just leave it dry in there and then dump water in it, you want to dump about another quarter full of water in there.
You want it to feel a lot like pancake batter.
Yeah, and squish it up and then pour it out. That's what I do. So.
John's having streaming issues.
Oh no. So. Don't do this.
We're probably going to get dinged for copyright there.
Probably. All right. So.
You know what I learned as a teacher? Just be quiet and eventually someone will say something.
Yeah, that's really good for our show. 2 hours of dead space. So okay, before we go on, then
sit in the quiet.
I can't. It doesn't work. ADHD. Anyway,
meditation does not happen for him.
Oh,
it's Uncle Bones! Woo! At the stream. Thank you for rescuing everyone.
Yeah, there.
Hello.
Hello. We can hear you.
Good to see your face.
I'm happy. I thought I'd try it out, see what it's like over here in the paddy wagon.
All right.
That's it.
That's pretty awesome. Good.
All right.
All right, get back to the comments here.
All right.
So where are you broadcasting from?
I'm in El Paso, Texas.
Oh.
Yeah. I used to live in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I lived in Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Alaska for a while. My mom was from Little Diomede Island, Alaska.
Wow.
In Inuit Eskimo. Cool. But I grew up in South Dakota, just close to where you guys have there by. You guys are by the Air Force Base, I think.
Mountain Home.
Mountain Home, yeah.
So.
Or is he talking about Badger Mountain?
You're in South Dakota.
Oh, in South Dakota, yeah. Our address is in Box Elder, which is near Rapid City.
Yeah.
Okay. We visit South Dakota about every 5 years.
So, it's funny, we live there, but we're never there. So it's kind of funny. But no, we're actually in Eastern Oregon in Baker City right now, in fact, we're going to Boise on Saturday. What are you doing?
I'm answering Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah, I miss that area up there. I miss the woods. I'm stuck here with the oxygen hose.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
kind of
elk.
homebound now. So
Oh no.
everything I see is on what you guys do and what others do. So I get to watch a lot of good people out there doing good work.
Oh,
So
thanks. Yeah. Well,
because in 1987 I actually seen one up by Bellingham, Washington,
Imagine so.
up yeah up towards the Lummi Reservation there.
Hmm. Tell us about that. What was your encounter like?
We just seen him across the road. We My wife at the time, we were in Ferndale and ate dinner, late dinner, and we were heading back home, and the fog was dropping in. Now the fog drops in, it's like
yeah.
right above the road.
Yeah.
Well, I was scooting it, trying to hustle, get home. Otherwise, we wouldn't have seen him. But well, back then I drove like Elwood Blues back then, if you can imagine that.
Yeah.
But I was all in the mail, and they're on the left side. Left side of the road was the Nooksack River. There was a pear-shaped cornfield that had been harvested, and then on the right-hand side of the road was a blueberry field, a blueberry farm, and way out at the edge of the headlights, when that fog's coming in, it seems like you could see twice as far because
Yeah.
it's reflecting off the fog.
Uh-huh.
Well, far out there, we seen a dark figure on the left side of the road coming, and he was surprised, obviously, because if we were doing the speed limit, he wouldn't have seen us, and we wouldn't have seen him. And but he come up on the road, and then stepped across like 3 steps, boom, 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 and went down into the blueberry farm. I attempted to stop, but my wife would have none of it. So I chose not to, stop. Uh, and but we both looked at each other. We didn't even say anything. We just looked at each. I looked at her. She looked at me, and then we just broke out laughing. Really, like, oh my God, did you see that? Because we'd heard a month or two before, we'd heard 2 screams by our house, just the really high pitched, like a woman getting murdered scream, and then it rumbled down into a deep, deep rumble.
Yeah.
And right behind our house, we had a dike along the Nooksack River there, and up on the dike, there was something up there screamed. We had neighbors over. We were playing Uno,
Uh-huh.
I
and
love
we had our windows open, but it was old, like 1940s single pane windows. Man, that thing, I thought they were gonna break. It was rattling so hard, and all of our hair stood up, and hair stood up on our arms, and we just all looked at each other and broke out laughing. Like, oh my God, must have been a Sasquatch, because the Lummi Indian, the tribe there, they all know he exists.
that. Oh,
Oh
sure.
yeah.
And then in that year, there were quite a few sightings there on the reservation. Yeah, that the one that crossed the road, the tip of his head up, was blurry. He was in the fog,
Mm.
so the fog was like 9, 10 feet off the road, and so he was a big guy, big guy. It was amazing, but I didn't see his face. I couldn't tell you what his face looked like, but I know its body shape was similar to Patty's, but larger, and I knew he was taller than Patty.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I meant where you're talking about. That's like Sasquatch Central. Anyway,
Where is that in relation to the Olympic Peninsula?
it's north of it.
North.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. My grandfather used to live in Everett.
Yeah.
That's a little further north than that.
That's yeah. I was north, farther north, like I don't know, 35 miles north or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
All right. Well, did you get a chance to watch last week's video with Cliff and Tobe? And
Yep. Yep. I watched both them, the
so,
original one and
yeah, what do you think about the whole London Trackway thing? What are your thoughts on that?
well, to me, that long of a trackway seemed kind of skeptical to me, but I don't know. You know, I wasn't there personally to look at them, and some of them look look like they could be or like they probably are, and then other ones are kind of sketchy. But I don't know. I'm not a professional person. I know I know the next morning, uh, our neighbor and I went up and looked to see where that one crossed to look for tracks, but it had rained, and we saw kind of like it was a trackway where he zigged and zagged in the cornfield, where like when you harvest sweet corn, the corn picker will run a bunch down
Yeah.
without picking it, and he looked like tracks went to certain spots where there were little piles of stalks, kind of zigzagging through the field, and then when he heard it's coming, he kind of beeline straight.
Hmm.
Okay, we're back. All right.
But we couldn't really tell if they were actual footprints because it rained and filled them, kind of washed them out.
Yeah, yeah. I found it interesting the difference between what we investigated and what Cliff and Tobe investigated 12 years ago. I mean, they had that long, long, long trackway. We had four prints
Yeah,
that crossed the road. Um, and it seemed to cross the road in a logical place for it to get off of a print, a
Hmm.
train that would accept a print.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. So
yeah, and in that's hard packed ground.
that
Yeah.
is. It
It
was a.
had to be something heavy doing that.
I know it's a gravel road.
a-
Yeah.
And I do find it, I personally, I find it hard to believe that someone running around in stompers could leave prints that deep. I Cliff says it's quite possible because he's done it.
Hmm.
I I I I'm not convinced, but I haven't done the science to test it out.
Yeah.
I haven't done the science to test it out. That segues
to
to
to yeah, this print right here was the best one we got. Um, so my evil plan is to I'm gonna make a copy of this one, but I'm gonna make it out of a really hard substance that I can strap these on our feet with, and then I'm gonna go try. I'm gonna go down to. I don't have to go to Cottage Grove, but we've got a lake here, similar. So we're gonna go try running on the gravel road with it and stuff, and just to see. I mean, if I can duplicate it, you know, then there's
reasonably.
reasonably then there's a possibility of it being fake. If I cannot duplicate it, then I'm still up in the air. I'm gonna do some more science on this.
Why so let's look at this print. We got bones here. Let's look at this print. What would make you think that it might be fake? Uh, you know, a a stomper. What are the dead give or what are the things that suggest that?
Well,
Help the newbies out because I mean, oh, here he goes. He's digging in the bins.
yeah. All right. I'm gonna show you why Cliff thinks it's fake.
Yeah. And Donna says that she agrees. I've seen prints so deep and I've jumped to get the depth and couldn't even come close. Yeah. And so I'm thinking to get depth like that, I weigh 160 some pounds, and the likelihood of me being able to duplicate this is pretty slim to none. So, what are you digging for over there?
Oh man, I think there-
I tell you what,
there's 4 prints in this bin, and
we've
the
got
one I want is the last one I looked at.
we've got a major issue in this trailer. There is so much stuff crammed in here. That it's hard to find anything. Janice says she's not sold that they're fake. John suggests, how about a metal casting with a sledgehammer used to pound them deeper?
There we go. Okay, so this is the print. Now this one here was given to me by Cliff. Now this was one of the original ones that was taken in 2012. It's kind of interesting that they're both in February, though. That I don't know if that means anything, but the reason Cliff thinks these are fake is because if you can see right here, it's almost the hinge point.
Here, tip it forward a little bit. So
right here,
right in this little groove. There's a little groove
Right.
there.
So it looks like
Right under the toes.
It looks like there could be a like mid-tarsal break right here, but that's way too far back to where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be up here, not here. But this one here, if you look at the toes, I got to get right in the camera here. If you look at the toes here, what he's saying is this was on the ground like this, and if you're using a flat object, everything's backwards. Okay, you step down,
crazy.
And then when you come off the front, you're going to scoop the ground down with the toes,
which is what you see
happening right there. Is because the toes are so much deeper, and you can even see where they swiped here. So it was a flat object that swiped down into the ground. It didn't bend and come off the ground. It swiped into the ground.
So way too much toe action there, really. So yeah, Raptor says that print was a stamped piece of wood, probably plywood or something. So how does that relate to your print?
So our prints, let's go back here. Our prints really didn't show that, but the difference between our prints, let's see if I'm back up here. Our prints didn't have that feature where it was scooped into the ground, but his was in mud. Ours was on solid gravel. I mean, but there was a slide. You can see laser pointer. You can see the slide here where it kind of pushed forward.
That's an awful lot of gravel to be pushing forward, I think. I mean, that's got to be some serious force to push the gravel, because it wasn't raining when these were left. It was raining later.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm with Janice. I'm not sold that they're fake. I'm not sold that they're real. I think the jury is very much still out on this.
Yeah,
and here, it's more in the right spot.
Yeah. So, and this one here is more in the right spot too.
Yeah.
And we don't have that toe dig either. So I don't know. Now Tobe Johnson, he leans more to that they're real because he found prints before the London Trackway
in the same
area. Place. Yeah, same general area, but where it had stepped over a fence and some other stuff, and he's got those prints. So there's that.
Anyway, we're hoping to go do some investigation with Tobe later this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I like your footprints.
Yeah. But what's really weird is they were in February also. I mean, it was like 11 years later.
Well, look at what Donna just said.
What?
Click her comment. Put it up there. She says, I believe they're creatures of habit, so finding prints of the same month is very plausible. Yes, and if they're following food sources and weather patterns, that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
how you saw one because you knew where they were going to be when.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that's like there in Washington when the salmon were running. That's when you would see the Bigfoots. So
yeah, that makes
any
sense.
anytime from late August into early December, that's when you would more than likely get have a sighting.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's too, and it's the same thing here. Like we get most of the sightings here in Eastern Oregon in the fall,
In the spring.
in the spring, but mostly in the fall because well, there's the two times we get a lot of sightings is we have mushroom season
In the spring,
in the spring, and then we have
huckleberries.
huckleberries in the fall, and like the elkhorns here where I had my sighting was in the springtime. But a lot of people don't realize here in Eastern Oregon is where most of the morel mushrooms, the wild morel mushrooms that you can buy, comes from. I mean, we have mushroom pickers show up here in the spring.
And I tell you what, asking someone to where their morel harvesting site is about like
Yeah,
asking a miner, "Where's your claim?"
yeah, it
You will
is.
create an enemy.
Yeah,
Never ever ask someone where their morels are.
yeah.
Um, so, and if humans like morels, imagine Bigfoot. Bigfoot knows where all the morels are. So, yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Well, thank you. I'm going to back out.
Okay.
Head
okay.
back to chat.
All
Thanks for
right. Thank
coming
you.
in,
Thank you,
Bones.
Bones. All right.
See, folks, it's not so hard. It's he did it. He jumped off the diving board there, and
All right. Yeah, but so, but anyway, let's go back.
we have a new comment from Northwest Sasquatch Studies and Research. Wow, that sounds so. You know, we used to be Blue Mountain Bigfoot Research, and that was so professional. Now we're Squatchmerica because I
Yeah.
said it rolls off the tongue. He says it's possible because I heard about a creature running around Van Duzer corridor area 3 years that has the same descriptions like what I saw. Are you
Yeah.
going to come into the studio, my friend, and share with us?
Yeah, but that's kind of cool.
And
Yep.
Raptor's right. It's all just speculation. Everything is speculation because we don't have formal classification yet.
Right.
So,
Fair enough.
but love to have Northwest Sasquatch Studies and NSSR. Sounds like a psychotropic medication.
So anyway, yeah, John says elderberries is another fall favorite, which is true.
Makes a
We
good
have
batch of wine.
I forgot about that. We have tons of
Little white elderberries.
yeah.
Donna said she saw a pattern with prints for 3 years until the rangers decided to dredge and clear the shoreline last year. What? And now she hasn't seen a print since last October.
Aw.
They may have been scared away.
Yep.
It's possible.
So there's that.
We have, wow.
So,
We've eaten up 20. We have 20 more minutes. That's
cool.
it. So,
Shall we do our station identification stuff real quick?
sure.
Hey, well, so while you're thinking about jumping into chat, I'm going to throw it in the chat one more time.
Can we block ads for our viewers with that ad blocker feature?
No.
Oh,
In fact, actually, just a little heads up. YouTube just enacted a deal today. I think it was today or yesterday that they were going to put ads on people's stuff even if you're not monetized. And if you have an ad blocker on, it won't allow you to watch YouTube anymore. So there's that. Um, so anyway, we want to give you a heads up of where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing.
Such an exciting summer coming up.
Yes, we do. So first on the list is our next thing is
the Seeking Bigfoot train ride on Saturday, June 10th. So, you want to go to the I think it's Elgin History. We need to put a link up here for them.
I'll throw it
in the description.
A pinned comment when I get done.
Okay. So following the Grand Ron and Wallowa rivers as they tumble their courses and join together at Randawa, Our Two Rivers ride is our standard trip, and the scenery is fantastic, but this trip promises more excitement and fun as we've heard Sasquatch has been spotted in the area.
Mhm.
Are you a naysayer or a believer? We will help you figure that out because we will be there.
Uh-huh.
And they do serve lunch. It is absolutely worth the ticket price, and it's a great family day out. I
Mhm.
have it on. I, I I think that our friend Dar might join us again.
Mhm.
So
Might be that.
anyway, that's super fun.
Okay, yeah. So, and then after that, we are headed to Medellin Falls, Washington. There's an R in that.
He does that on purpose.
So, no, I love
Isn't that the
Washington.
most beautiful artwork? I
That
love
is.
that. I need a T-shirt with that on it.
So,
Eh,
Medellin Falls is north of Spokane. I mean, if you go any further north, you're in Canada. If you want to know
yep.
where Medellin Falls is, and we'll be there with a whole bunch of like
Other people.
fantastic Bigfooters, mostly Native Americans. And this is actually going to be sponsored by the Kalispel tribe. So there's that. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yep. So go to mfbigfoot.com to get your tickets.
Yep.
That's
mfbigfoot.com.
June 17th and 18th, just over a month from now.
Hmm. And then on July 1st, we're going to be back in Cave Junction, Oregon, another famous Bigfoot sighting spot. And we're going to, because the Oregon Cave site, if you ever want to look that up, Google that, Oregon Cave Bigfoot. But anyway, we are going to be there for one day.
For the Born Free, Still Free.
Free Bigfoot Festival. All right. And then
Lots of kids stuff at
yeah,
that
lots
one.
of kid stuff. Yeah, this is very kid friendly. And then this one here is we are headed to Glide, Oregon, which is near Roseburg.
Yep.
And it'll be July 21st. Guest speakers is myself and Dr. Jeff Meldrum. Uh,
Woo!
so we'll come spend the day with us and Dr. Jeff.
Yep.
And then, drum roll, please. Okay,
Bum.
here we go. This
We
just
get
hit.
to, we get to announce it officially.
This is the official announcement. Dun dun dun! The Blue Mountain Bigfoot Fest here in Baker City, Oregon, on August 12th. It's going to be a day-long event. No tickets needed. It's free to get in. And we're going to have vendors, games, the Bigfoot Museum. We're going to have a Miss Blue Mountain Bigfoot pageant and a whole bunch of other stuff. But our guest speakers for the day will be myself and Todd Neese and Michael Freeman. If you know who Michael is, he's the son of famed Bigfoot researcher Paul Freeman, who he just wrote a book about his dad.
Yes. And I was supposed to put the website up today, but we got sidetracked by half a dozen other things. So I will be working on the website this weekend. It will be up by Monday, come hell or high water.
But if you go to Blue Mountain Bigfoot Fest
on Facebook,
there's actually
there's an event.
There's an event page for it, and you can click on that. And
let me add some clarification to this. The festival itself is August 12th. The festival is free. However,
the day before, dun, dun, dun,
you're ahead of me.
August 11th, at 6 p.m., we're going to have a VIP dinner. That one you will have to pay for. We haven't got tickets available for that yet, but they'll be up here soon. And you'll be able to sit down with Todd, Michael, and myself and
have
dinner
drinks
and talk. Yeah, it's going to be at the Elks Lodge in Baker City, Oregon.
Yep.
So there we go.
And then after that,
who knows?
I have no idea.
Oh, we got another train.
There's another train in
right,
September.
In September. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, so Raptor says this was a good show tonight. He thinks somebody was trying to blow smoke up our skirt about the footprints. I don't think so. I talked to the reporting party, and what he said was that he'd never seen tracks before. He's 74 years old, and so he was a Bigfoot enthusiast in that he grew up in the Pacific Northwest. But he did say he just randomly saw them while he was walking his dog. I know it's the whole dog walking thing.
Yeah. But he was not the guy in the cowboy hat.
No, he was not the guy in the cowboy hat. So It is possible, absolutely possible. And we also asked the Corps of Engineers, why did you call us?
We did,
Yes.
because that was also suspicious. Like, I did not. I mean, I didn't think about it at the time, to be honest. I got called by the Army Corps of Engineers.
And
A
a
park,
gal fangirl over that.
the park ranger called us, and I'm like, this is kind of weird because usually they don't talk about this stuff at all. Um, but what? So I wasn't. I was a little suspicious, but I wasn't sure. But I actually got to talk with her, and I asked her, "How did you get my number?" And it just so happened, and it was what I suspected. We had just did a Bigfoot. Uh, we were at a sportsman show. We had a
In
booth
Eugene and
in
Roseburg.
Eugene and Roseburg both, and we were had a booth, and we were talking to people all day long about Bigfoot. And I didn't have any idea who I talked to during the day, but we handed out over 2,000 cards in those 6 days. It was crazy. I mean, there's a lot of people came through there, and apparently, another, not the girl who called me, but another ranger had talked to me about Bigfoot, and he was actually into Bigfoot, and he had got my card at the sportsman show in Eugene, and when they found the footprints, he had my card in his hand. He's like, "Oh, let's call him." So that's how they got a hold of me.
Yeah.
So I don't think we were targeted, and put it that way. I mean,
targeted or
targeted.
It sounded like you didn't think we were tarded. It's like, that's different.
We're not tarted. Okay.
I don't know. I think the jury's still out on that one too.
But anyway, so there's that.
Yes, Dawn, that's where we met. We met in Roseburg. Dawn Coberkeist.
Oh, yep.
Yep. She's new to the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, cool. So yeah, so I don't think
I don't think we were targeted specifically. If this was a plant, it was done we think it was kind of done, oh, it's like the around the anniversary of the original London Trackway, let's go have some fun and see what happens.
Yeah, and it wasn't the 10th year anniversary. Well, it makes more sense, but it's the 11th year anniversary.
Yeah, so yeah, we could again, it's all speculation, so right. Who knows. Hey, so Donna says it doesn't look like we're coming east this year. You know what, we don't know.
We don't know, Donna.
Not for the summer.
Not for the summer. But we may spend fall and winter down south, and might end. I know for a fact we got to be.
We have a family wedding next August.
And
if we're not there, they will disown us entirely.
In Maine.
In Maine, yeah, it'll be in Bangor or thereabouts.
Yeah. So
they should have the wedding at Wilderness Edge.
No. Anyway, so we will be back up in Maine at least in August next year. We probably might be up there to spend the whole summer, possibly.
Yeah. So yeah, we would probably leave after the sportsman shows or after we. So see, here's the thing: we were specifically invited to plan another Bigfoot festival for this town, and this is kind of our town, and so we did. And then they even said at our first planning meeting, just be prepared that we're going to want you to do this again. If we do this again, we want to do it in June so we can get it done. And then we would go somewhere after that. I mean, that's ideal. But
yeah, Katahdin is, Michael says,
Katahdin is calling us going, na 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 na.
Katahdin kicked our butts a few years ago trying to climb it. Yeah.
Oh. I'm getting too old for that shiza. Anyway, no, we would love to go back to Maine. And truth be told, I watch a lot of real estate videos out of the North Maine woods.
So,
anyway.
Yeah, Scott. In fact, Scott, in case you didn't know, you probably do, but anyway, I haven't mentioned all my family on my dad's side of the family is from Van Buren, Maine.
Yep.
And there's those French-speaking Acadians.
I'm learning French.
Yeah. So.
Can't remember any of it right now, except for the cows watch the train every day. Okay, well, we are down to 10 minutes left.
So,
does anyone else want to jump in here?
What is this?
John says a coworker shared a story about the night she and her husband saw a boulder flying 50 feet through the moonlit night. They had no idea what it was near Washburn, Maine. Her ex-husband was an officer. Guess what? I think I can figure out what threw a 50-pound boulder. A boulder. Let's just say a boulder.
Yeah.
Just saying. What's going to throw a boulder?
Feet. Yeah. We've had rocks thrown at us in the North Maine woods too.
Yep.
So there's that. And we've found footprints there too.
Mm-hmm.
Twice. So, which is really hard to find footprints in the North Maine woods because they don't have dirt in Maine, they have rocks.
Yeah, that ground is hard. Well, so they have rocks and they have sand.
Yeah.
And the rocks are really hard to leave an indentation in. The sand is really easy, but it swishes away real fast. So, John lived in Oakfield. Yes, It's beautiful. Yes, les vaches. I can't. Les vaches regardent le tronc. I can't. I speak too much Spanish to do well with French.
All I can say is the Cajun phrase "laissez les bâtons rouler," which means "let the good times roll" in Cajun.
I do my due diligence with Duolingo every single day. I'm almost up to a 200-day streak.
Yep. John
the county.
Said, yeah, it's actually a rustic county, which in Maine is just called the county. Because it's huge.
If we moved to Maine, that's where we would move, somewhere in the county.
In the county. And we wouldn't be there in the winter.
Nope. Definite snowbird in it. You'd stay through leaf peeping and then get the frack out.
A lot of people don't realize in North Maine woods, they have thousands of miles of four-wheeler and snowmobile trails.
Yeah.
Literally thousands of miles through the woods. Cool.
Okay. Well, anyone else going to join us in the studio?
We're down to 8 minutes. So let me throw this back up for your viewing pleasure. I wanted to show you, these were the prints when they were found. 2 days later, we got to them and they look like this.
Yeah.
Because it had been raining. I did have them cover them up with plastic to protect them, so that was a plus. But
we're a wicked good show.
We are.
Damn good
It's a
show.
damn. If you can tell me where that's from,
you get an extra prize. You know where that's from.
It's a damn good show. So just I wanted to leave you with that. Give you some thoughts about what you think.
Is the middle one a slide?
Yes, the middle one is a slide.
Yes.
It's a little bit longer than the rest of them because of the slide.
And you can even in the mud, you can see where the soil has scooched a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So the one in the middle is a slide.
Here's one thing that I think I don't know. I thought they were a little. One thing that I think could point to being a hoax would be how I think they're kind of narrow, but I could be wrong. Yeah. So Janice asks a question.
Okay, what?
Could not getting there for 2 days after maybe altered them a bit so they looked more fake?
I don't think so. We didn't lose much detail in it. I mean, they did fill up with water, but when I cast them, we got some pretty good detail. But another weird thing is
this outline is weird.
Yeah.
But
here's another thing. I want to click this up.
Oh, look, Ben is in the chat. Ben! Oh, it's the Northwest Sasquatch Studies and Research guy. We can go longer. Hey!
Sorry. Hi. So I had a quick question. I figured this would be easier.
Yep.
So the ground on the tracks where the old London tracks were at, the pictures you just had, was the ground soft at all?
On the old ones?
The originals or the new
The
ones?
new ones that you guys found. These
No,
ones. Yes.
Actually, these are actually in a gravel road. They are literally
Okay.
Hillbilly pavement.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is actually,
Well, that because like
if you look here where my cursor is, there's a road that comes up this way and there's a road that goes this way, and this is at a T intersection in the road. And there was a
The
okay.
other side of that bluff.
Yeah. So the reservoir's
That
over
makes
where the London Trackway was down by the reservoir edge. The dam of the
Yeah.
reservoir is over on this side of it. This is below the dam. And this road here goes to the bottom of the spillway of the dam and out one of those Forest Service gates that they lock. And this road here goes up to the Forest Service. Well, they're building, and it's locked.
okay. Okay, that makes more sense because it was the middle track that bothered me the most. But now knowing that it was a slide,
Yeah.
that makes more sense now because it almost looked like someone imprinted like a board. But now knowing that's a slide, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I'm on the top. I'm kind of 50-50 with it myself because knowing that it slid, it's kind of hard because I feel like if someone was faking it, they would have just stamped straight down.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I was very curious about that, and so I figured get on real quick before you guys got off.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull me up real quick here and show you something. This is from
The
the original from
Okay.
12, and this is mine. But if you look at it,
You're different shapes, though. I think
They're
mine is just the hair longer, but not much. I mean, but
well, if it was the same animal, it could have gotten older and just grew.
right, true.
but there's not that massive toe action going on.
Yeah, and
No, there isn't.
But you got to remember, this was in sand and silt and mud next to the
Yes.
lake.
Okay, yeah, then all the weight would have.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah, and this was on a gravel road.
the totally two different surfaces. So yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Because the areas I've been researching, the Van Duzer corridor, one of them, there has been a sighting of a creature that sounds about similar to what I remember. And it seems like you guys are saying about a creature of habit.
Mm-hmm.
Someone was saying something about that. So it makes sense because the same animal has been sighted over the years in the same area. And it's the same color and everything. And so when you said creature of habit, I was like, well, it makes more sense because if it's like what I've been after for a while now, I feel like it'd still be in the same area. Because what I saw, it was a black creature. Next live you guys have, I'll try to talk more about it. I'm really tired right now, so I can't remember everything off the top of my head. But from the sighting reports I've looked up and everything, it sounds like something similar to what you guys found over the years, but footprints wise for you guys. For me, it's been more sighting reports and things like that. And so it makes total sense that could possibly be real because that's why I'm 50-50 on it because I wasn't there to be able to see them. But it moving around like that makes total sense over the years because the reports that I have found show that every other year it's around, I think, February and hunting season is when reports start coming in. Like my report, what I saw was in October of 2017. So that's why when you said that, I'm like, well, because I remember watching the video with Cliff and when you guys met Cliff, and I was like, well, maybe he's right. But then you talking today on this live, I'm like, well, it's kind of weird how it's in the same area since every other couple years.
Yeah.
That's what's weird.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I did we were originally from the Blue Mountains in Eastern Oregon, where the Freeman film was taken. We literally
Yeah.
in that area. Um, I did research there for 5 years, and I got reports from people for 5 years, and I put pins and maps, and I could almost map where the Bigfoot was going to be, what time of year
Yeah.
in the area, just from doing that. So,
Yep.
One of the things you could do in your area too is just go back, like on the BFRO website or the what's the app?
A Bigfoot mapping
The
project.
project, yeah, and just look in your area, and then look at the month and the years, and you can and take a map and just put pins in it and say, okay, I can follow this guy around now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another quick question I have.
Uh-huh.
What are your guys' thoughts on like home ranges, like range, like how far you think they travel and things like that?
People. I've heard people say they think they migrate, but I don't think they migrate very far. Like
Okay.
up here, we get a bunch of big reports and stuff up, like in Tollgate, Deduct Springs, where Freeman Film was, and all that. But those are in June and July in the summertime. And then when it gets wintertime, we find them down south in the southern part of the mountain range. So I meant down by like John Day area.
Okay.
So I think they do, but they go south for the winter, but they don't go far. I mean,
maybe
they don't,
like 100, 200 miles.
yeah, at the most.
Okay. Because I've been doing research in an area on the Coast Range called Valsets and I hunt and hike out there too. And I've never found anything to say anything about Bigfoot out there until a few weeks ago. I've never been really too believing on the whole thing on tree breaks and things until I went to the Bigfoot Museum and saw the one in Cliffs Museum. And that one I couldn't explain because I've been logging and lumber industry for years. And a few weeks ago, well, it's been about a month now, I found a tree bend. It literally looks like something grabbed the tree and bent it 90 degrees. And found a couple footprints. Unfortunately, the pictures did not come out like I would like them to have. Excuse me. Then I think what was it? The next weekend we came back out there because I wanted to do some more research on it, just to measure things and stuff. The one print that was the most noticeable that the rain didn't take out. It was about 16.5 inches long and about, I think, 4.5, 5 inches plus wide. And on that tree that was bent at a 90 degree, I found a hair on it.
Ooh.
And I need to figure out. I was going to go talk to take to the Bigfoot Museum, see if he could maybe look at it. And I had my friend come over from Eastern Oregon that's had a biology degree and ODFW.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't explain it either. I showed him the hair, and he thinks we're on the debate. It's either an elk beard hair or something unknown. That's all it could be. There's like that. That's it. I showed him that print was still there. The rain hasn't gotten rid of it. It was deep enough that I showed it to him, and I debated with him to see if he would change his mind on anything, and he thinks it's a footprint. He doesn't think it's an overstep. So I showed it to him. He's like, "There's an arch." And I'm like, "You sure it's not elk or something stepping over itself like a big bowl?" It's like, "No, there's an arch." So that made me read more think about that. And then last weekend, fortunately, I couldn't stay long enough because he had to go see somebody. I've never heard wood knocks in my life, but the only thing I can describe it as, it sounded like wood hitting on wood.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only when I would make like a whooping or a noise like that. We were making fun of an owl. Like there's barred owls out there, so we always tried to get him to hoot. Mm-hmm. So he was over there going hoot. We were making fun of it, and all of a sudden we hear this bang noise, and it sounded like wood on wood. And then I went, "That's weird," and thought it was like construction or work. And I told him, "There's nothing out here like that. There's nobody out here."
Right.
And then we saw a pickup, so we thought it was that. Then we came around a corner away from everybody, and I go whoop, and it go bang, and only would do it if I went whoop. It was very weird. I don't understand. And he was right next to me. And this guy is works for OFW, Fish and Wildlife, and has been in the woods, biology degree, and he has no idea how to explain it. And we're sitting there, and it was away from everybody else. It was up in the mountains where there's nobody, and it was starting to go further away and go bang, and I go whoop bang again. And it kept doing it. And the very last one before we left, I think I pissed whatever it was off because I don't know how to describe it. It was weird. It was like a deeper bang, and I felt it through my chest. I know some people believe in it and everything. I just think it's a biological creature, like a missing ape or something. But I don't understand what that was. That was by far the weirdest thing. It was like it went like a deeper bang, and you could feel it, but it was far off. But it was like whatever it was telling me to knock it off.
Yeah, probably.
But
yeah, I was going to say Hannah and I had the same experience once. We were investigating a nest area actually, and we heard ours wasn't a wood knock. It was like rocks clacking together, like. And but it wasn't just one. We heard one, and then I hit it. Then I
took his bat.
Took my baseball bat and hit a tree. And then it clacked, but it was like clack 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 clack. And
I did whoop.
Then she whooped, and it wouldn't. And like it was the same thing. It wouldn't clack the rocks unless she whooped. She would whoop. It would clack the rocks.
Yeah.
But then we kept hearing the rock clacking, getting like they were carrying the rocks and just hitting them together. But we kept hearing them getting further and further and further.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. And like I have a video of my phone. Unfortunately, I don't think my phone got it. But there's a point you see me and my buddy get spooked because I don't know if there was more than one or whatever this thing was, but it sounded like something really got close to us, went bang, and it made us like, oh, it's time to get to the car.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no words to explain what it was. I don't know. I've never heard anything like that. I've been in the woods for many years. I've logged. Yeah, it's the first time. And he said the same thing. He no idea. And but the thing is though, the animal I saw, which I'm pretty sure was actually I'm 100% sure it's Sasquatch. How fast it moved, I could honestly believe that it was the same. There was maybe just one because of how fast and fluent it was. The animal I saw, I could definitely believe that creature, if it was trying to get away from us or just wanted to get away, it could have easily gone away from me that quick. So, but yeah, no, I always wanted to know if anyone else has heard that. But this happened only a week ago, and I'm doing more research in the area, and that's why I asked about home ranges because I was curious to think because Van Duzer corridor is not that far from the area. I was very.
What part of the state is that? I meant when you.
This is Dallas, Oregon, between Lincoln City and Dallas, Oregon, on the Coast Range.
Okay, I know where you're at now. Okay, I know where Lincoln City is. I meant.
So if you go,
yeah,
it's called Valseth, Oregon. It used to be an old logging town that they shut down.
I know where it's at.
And I've never had anything over the years, anything. And all of a sudden this year, and which I thought, honestly, whatever made the bit tree bend, if it was something, which I'm starting to think it was now, was pushed down into the valley because we had a pretty historic snowfall on the Coast Range, and it was about quite a few feet. So all that wildlife got pushed down into the valley. So my theory was that whatever this was got pushed down into the valley, following the wildlife and food source and water and whatnot. And I thought once the snow melted that it went, whatever it was, went back up to the mountains. But now that whole theory's out the door because what we heard last week, I don't know.
Yep.
So I'm trying to see if maybe something else can happen. But I did find a hair, and I don't know how to describe it. It's long. It's about 3 inches plus long, and it's dark in color, but it almost looks like there's a root on it. It's really weird, and it's very fine.
Yeah, that's another thing. They're very fine. And if you look at, I don't know if you can see the end of it. Is it tapered? Take a look at that too.
Okay. Because we thought it was between an elk beard hair or a something unknown. But the thing is, there are elk sign all around this tree.
Mhm.
But the thing is, though, there's no rub marks of a big bull or anything on this tree.
Right.
That's what's weird. I found deer hair and stuff, but no other hairs of an elk, and nothing saying elk scratch or nothing. That's what's weird. And it's just so coincidental that I found a what was like 16.5 inch track, then a 90-degree bend in a tree, and now this hair on the same spot. But I'm gonna see if I can get like a microscope or something and try to look at it and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Janice is wanting to know if that's Highway 18 or thereabouts.
For the Van Duzer corridor or Valsats.
I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yes, Highway 18. Let's see which one's Highway 18. I believe Highway 18 is the Van Duzer corridor. It's 22. It's one of the ones. But when you get to Grand Ron, there's the casino. One's Highway 22 and one's 18. I believe 18 goes straight, if I remember right. And Valsets is if you go down through Dallas, down Kings Valley Highway and turn down Fall City, and you go out that way and you can get into it. But all these roads interconnect.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. And that's why I was asking about the whole home range thing, because I'm like, was wondering if it could be possibly the same creature. And the other question is, I'm not heard too much online about, could there be separate animals in separate areas close to each other, you think?
Oh, I know so. Yeah.
Okay. Because that was the other thing, because I'm like, I don't know if they're extremely territorial with their ranges, or if they can be near each other and not lose it.
Yeah.
So
I think they stay in like small family groups, like mom, dad, baby.
okay.
And then they could be a couple family groups in the same area.
Okay. Because whatever I'm chasing out in Valsets, it seems to know where to go to get away from people. Everywhere where the bangs were heading was all roads that you cannot go up. And the only main roads that are around it, you have to go miles around to get to the other side of the mountain.
Yeah.
So there's nothing I could do to get up further. And it was in the area that was on a marked management road that you can't go up.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, since I'm not logging right now, I can't just say I'm going to go log.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I was just curious what your guys' input on that, because I've never heard a wood knock in my life. And all I can describe is sounding like wood on wood. My friend's like, is there construction out here? I'm like, no, we're 14 plus miles in the forest where there's no construction out here.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Well, we're going to be back in that area for, here and there over the summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So stay in touch, and maybe we can get together.
shoot me an email at SQUATCHAMERICA@gmail.com.
Okay.
So I can get your contact information.
Okay.
Privately. And we're going to be back up there. Actually, we're going to be in Alcea.
I'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We're going from Alcea to Cave Junction, and then we've got a few weeks between Cave Junction and Glide.
Yeah. So we'll probably be in Florence and then up in that area. So, okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I will definitely do that. Well, I'm going to get off.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for coming on, Dan. It's
thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
You too. Well, guys, that was a surprise. What's it called? The 11th inning.
Yeah.
So thanks for those of you who hung in there with us. Thanks for staying with us and listening to Ben's story. What he had, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Remember, we probably have to build a shed this summer, so we can't completely book up.
Yeah.
But it's time. Thank you, as always. Thank you so much for watching us. And please remember that our job is to investigate the unexplained.
Not to explain the uninvestigated.
Even if that means someone did play a prank on us. It's always possible. So until next week, just please keep following us, like, subscribe, share this video. Did you know that if you click the share button, you don't have to share it to your social media if you don't want to. You can actually share it into the YouTube universe. So please do that. We are almost up to 2,500 subscribers. So let's see if we can get there by the end of the month. And
And yeah. That's
So you keep watching and
we'll keep squatching. Go out and find Bigfoot.
Bye.
Bye.